stand by. Severe weather coverage will begin shortly on Dr. Don's weather. Please, stand by. Severe weather coverage will begin shortly on Dr. Don's weather. Please, stand by.
Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. It's 8:58 Central, 9:58 Eastern on your Friday, May 6th, 2022. And we're back in here a little bit earlier than anticipated to kind of give you an update. There have been some developments since we did our last update earlier this morning. So I wanted to jump back in here and give you the latest information from the National Weather Service. I know you guys are trying to plan your day, and you want to stay on top of what's happening with this potential, and I emphasize potential, severe weather outbreak across Alabama and Georgia. So the Storm Prediction Center has updated their severe weather outlook for today. And in turn, Birmingham has done the same for their Alabama graphic. And you can see that they have trimmed off some of the counties under the enhanced risk of severe weather and kind of gone back to what we were looking at last night for today. So East Alabama still has a risk for severe weather, but the slight risk category has replaced some of the enhanced risk areas. So basically from central Clay County all the way back to Birmingham, you're now under a slight risk. So that's a little bit of a downgrade from what you were earlier this morning. And then from Anniston down to about maybe Ashland, Lineville, down to around Alexander City, and then down to around we'll call it maybe Tuskegee, and then down into the Dothan area. From that line east, you are still under an enhanced risk for severe weather, and that carries on over into Georgia and does cover all of our West Georgia counties as well. Timing has been updated a little bit. We're saying through 11 a.m. across central Alabama, and then across East Alabama pretty much through about 2 p.m. this afternoon. Then we think the threat of severe weather will be done. So we may get done with this threat a little earlier than anticipated. So maybe by about 2 o'clock this afternoon central. For our East Alabama counties, you'll be in the clear. And then for about 3 to 3:30 Eastern for our West Georgia counties of our coverage area. So that's the deal. We still anticipate damaging straight line winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour, ping pong ball sized hail, and a few isolated tornadoes will be possible across the region today also. So let's pop on the radar and let's take a look at what's happening now. That rain that we had moved through the area early this morning has since moved on over into central Georgia. And honestly, for the moment, we're watching one thunderstorm that's developing. And that is up there in extreme northeastern Talladega County, getting up into southern Calhoun and western portions of Cleburne. It's going to be up there around the Anniston-Oxford area. We'll stop the radar and bring it current, and then we'll take you in a little bit closer on this storm. And we'll go 3D with it and zoom in a little closer and show you that at this hour, really the only thing happening in East Alabama is this thunderstorm, which is situated from about Weaver down to Anniston along 431 and then down to around I-20. The heaviest part of this is right there over Anniston. And this is really just a a light thunderstorm at the moment. There are some embedded pockets of heavy rainfall, but no lightning output to speak of, and we have no hail markers, no indication that we have anything going on here. It is slowly increasing in intensity, very slowly. So this would be one of those storms that you folks over here along the Alabama-Georgia state line would want to keep an eye on. Because it should continue to slowly increase in intensity as it moves on off to the east-northeast. So you folks up here in Piedmont, down through Cleburne County, over into Carroll, and then right along the Alabama-Georgia state line should probably keep an eye on this, though at the moment it is not severe. Then we zoom back out, and we'll go back down. This is going to be right there along the Shelby County, Talladega County line. We have another developing line of thunderstorms from just west of Childersburg, right down the county line, ending up down here around Blue Springs in extreme northwest Coosa County. And this is slowly increasing in intensity also. But again, right now it's well below severe limits. And really, that's all we've got going on right now. Now, let me zoom back out, though, and show you one other thing. We've got the cloud coverage overlay turned on, so you can see where we have breaks in the clouds. This is going to be one of those days where you do not want to see the sun, but we do have breaks in the clouds out there. We've got some sun now just to the northeast of Columbus. We have sun shining in western Randolph County, eastern Clay. Most of Tallapoosa County has sunshine now. Western Chambers County, western Lee County, all in the sunshine. And then up here also in northern Talladega, the sun is shining as well. Then we have another cloud deck that will move in, and behind that you see more sunshine back off to the west. Now, this area is the actual cold front itself. Let me see if we can line this up for you, and I'll just draw a line right along the actual cold front. So we would anticipate, if we're going to get severe weather formation, we would anticipate, I'll show you the areas where it's possible, then I'm going to show you the areas where it's most likely. Let me start that over. That was not a really good job. Let's try this again. So this area is where we're going to be watching for the possibility of thunderstorms developing over the next couple of hours that could be strong to possibly severe. And then this will move to the east-northeast. Any storms that form here will move in this general direction. So that's kind of what we're looking at this morning. Now, having said all of that, again, that straight line is where the actual cold front is. Inside that circle, generally speaking, is where we would anticipate heavy storms to form and then move off to the east-northeast. Hold on one second. I've got a spammer in the room we've got to get rid of. And block. Okay. So now, having said all of that, given the latest graphics from the Storm Prediction Center, I think the best opportunity for severe weather actually is going to be probably just north of the I-85 corridor and south. It looks like this is going to be the area that's going to be the juiciest this afternoon for severe weather. I mean, we can see these storms back off to the southwest, down there around Thomasville, north of Jackson, Alabama, back into Mississippi. And these are the storms that I would be really interested in watching over the next hour or so to see how they're going to behave. Because this is where the humidity levels are the highest. And so probably from Montgomery up to Auburn and south is going to be a prime area for severe weather. That's not to say that we won't see any across the entire region. We certainly can. But I think the absolute best opportunity is going to be along and south of the I-85 corridor as we go into the afternoon. And just changing the color palette there a little bit. That makes it a little easier to see where we have clouds and where we have sunshine this morning. Again, those darker areas, that would be your cloud coverage, and then the lighter areas would be the areas where we have sunshine. All right, so just in the last volume scan, we've got a storm that's popped up here just north of 280, north of Kellyton, up there in extreme northeastern Coosa County. And so that's going to be the MO over the next couple of hours. We're going to see these storms just come out of nowhere. And they're going to, or at least have the potential of intensifying rapidly. So just south of Goodwater, just east of, what is that, 9? Yes. And then on the next volume scan, it doesn't look quite as significant as it did. So that's just the way it's going to be. They're going to pop up all over the place over the course of the next couple of hours or so as they move off to the east. Yeah, so the sun's peeking out in Russell County, fuel for the fire. That is correct. And you're going to see that off and on throughout the remainder of the morning. Thank you, Jackie Lee. Appreciate you. Thank you, Widowie. Rainigan Warner Robbins. Summer Henderson's watching us in Widowie this morning. And just bear with me here. Wow. Hey, look at, thank you, Paul Davis. Appreciate you liking us here on Dr. Don's Weather. Y'all hit that like button. James Russell. Thank you, James. Appreciate you. Hit those stars, too, while you're in there, guys. Send us some love this morning. We appreciate everything you can do for us. We're just kind of watching this happen this morning together. Erica Hudgens, thank you for liking us this morning. There's Sharon McDaniel. Shannon McDaniel. Robin Williams is watching us this morning. There's Missy Riley. Thank you, Missy. Joanne is watching us this morning in Bowden and Carrollton. Savannah, Georgia. There's Paul Davis in the house. Jenny Holderfield. Thank you, Jenny. Y'all hit that. Carrie Futch. That's my boy. Y'all hit that like button up there. Hey, thank you, Paula. Thank you, Paula. That's what happens when you send the stars right there. Thank you, Paula. We appreciate it. Look at Cam Warren in there this morning. Thank you, Cam. I didn't mean to laugh at you. Trying to find the right button. There's Leslie. Thank you. Hey, Tammy. Thank you. Appreciate you. Good morning, Betty. There's my buddy down in Jackson County. and in Jefferson, Georgia. Philip McDaniel. Thank you, Philip. Nita Starnes. Appreciate you, Nita. Again, folks, we're watching this one storm that's moving through the Anniston, Oxford area now. There's Jerry Mapp. And that's not severe, but you folks over in West Georgia are going to want to pay attention to it. Faye Wilson likes us this morning. If you're in Cleburne County, Muscadine, over in Bremen, Carrollton, Schulafini, Heflin, you got this line of storms coming right at you. Again, it's not severe at the moment, but we're going to keep an eye on it for you. And we may have other storms form that could be severe a little later on this morning. There's Josh Payton. Wendy Johnson. Thank you, Wendy. Dadeville, Alabama in the house. There's Susan McGill. And there comes some more stars. Candace and Alan Heron. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for those stars. Folks, that's a quick, easy way to help us out here, Dr. Don's Weather. There's Beth Lawyer. Mandy Coggin this morning. Thank you for liking us. Glenn George is in the house. Betty Sue Heron Castle liking our stream this morning. Angie Bryan has liked us. Alexander City, you're in the enhanced risk area, so you could see some storms a little bit later on this morning. There's Karen Cash. And Jackie Kimbar. Yeah, the sun's trying to peek out in Roanoke. That's one thing we don't want, but that's what we got going on. We got some breaks in the clouds. Lucy Thompson liking the stream this morning. Thank you, Lucy. Donna Fincher Young, we appreciate you, Miss Donna. Thank you, Robin Williams. We appreciate those stars. Rachel Hill liking us this morning. In case you've just joined us, we were going to come back at about 10 o'clock this morning and do another update, but we jumped in here a little bit early. And there's a reason that we did that. We'll go back over here and show it to you. The Storm Prediction Center has updated their severe outlook for the area today. This was done about 30 minutes ago. And they kind of trimmed back that enhanced risk area for East Alabama and replaced it with a slight risk area. But again, folks, I don't want you to get caught up in the different colors and the different levels. The bottom line here is all of East Alabama and West Georgia is in a risk of severe weather this morning. I think it is beginning to look, though, like the threat of severe weather is probably going to be a little better the further east you go, simply because of the timing on all of this. The line is going to push those storms into Georgia during the prime heating of the day. We had those showers move through this morning, and it kind of cooled things off a little bit. And now we have the main line coming through. Well, the sun's up now, so it's going to really warm things up in Georgia. And I think this line is going to have a chance to intensify more so as it moves across Georgia than it will across East Alabama. But we will not be out of the clear in East Alabama until we get that line across East Alabama, and that's going to take a little time to do. So we're talking the entire line's moving in this direction, so we're talking another couple of 2 or 3 hours before this makes it across East Alabama, and so this is the actual cold front itself. So again, you can see that there's still plenty of opportunity there to have a strong to severe storm form across East Alabama and West Georgia. Let me pop that radar back in there so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, so we've got to get, well, you see that straight line on the left-hand side of the screen. That's the leading edge of the cold front. So that's got to move across the entire state of Alabama before we get completely in the clear. And again, what I was saying is we have more daylight hours now across the state of Georgia as this line moves through. It's more time for the atmosphere to destabilize before that line gets there. So I think the chances are better across extreme East Alabama and then across the state of Georgia and then on up into South Carolina as the day goes along. All right, it's coming up on 9:18. I'm going to hang with you probably for about another 5 minutes or so. Good morning, Blairsville, Georgia. Nice to have you in here with us this morning. Y'all don't forget to hit those like buttons if you're on Facebook, and also send us some of those Facebook stars. That helps us here, helps support us here, Dr. Don's Weather. All this stuff is expensive. So we appreciate anything you can do to help us out and send us those stars. There's Tara Staples. Thank you, Tara. Good to see you this morning. Yeah, Kay, it is nice and cool in Opelika at the moment, but you got some sunshine that's really moving through the Auburn Opelika area now, about to move in. Well, moving through the Auburn area, about to move into the Opelika area, and that's going to warm you up pretty quick. Hey, Gail Brown, good to see you. There's Miss Messer. We're watching two boundaries on satellite this morning. One near the I-65 corridor coming into Tuscaloosa, and the second one coming into Tuscaloosa. The first boundary has kicked off a few showers around the Anniston area. I'm just reading this as it comes in from the Weather Service. Working in from the west, so we expect today's thunderstorm activity to occur ahead of these boundaries through the early afternoon. Hence the removal of the severe threat Tuscaloosa westward. Okay, so basically we have two boundaries out there. Let me go back over to, hey Felicia, let me go back over to the radar, and I'm going to show you this right quick before we wind up this update. There are two boundaries that is boundary number one. And then we have boundary number 2. And all of this is moving to the east this morning. So we would expect to see thunderstorms just behind boundary number 1, which we do have up here around the Anniston-Oxford area. We have more showers trying to develop there in western Talladega County. A few showers there in southern Clay trying to get going. And then we have boundary number 2, which is back over here between Birmingham and Tuscaloosa. And you'll notice up here around Berry, we're seeing some scattered showers beginning to develop up there also. I would expect to see that fill in all the way down this line, all the way down to Moundville, Demopolis, and even further south, down into southwest Alabama as the day goes along. And this line here from the Anniston-Oxford area back down across Clay and Coosa and down into Elmore could start to fill in as well. Here's the $64 million question. Does it fill in? Do these storms start developing before these boundaries get out of East Alabama or after these boundaries get out of East Alabama? It's a race against time right now because the sun is up. The eye on that stove has been turned on. So can we get these boundaries out of East Alabama and West Georgia before that eye on the stove gets too hot? Or are we about to reach that boiling point where we start to see storms develop rapidly along these boundary lines? That's the question this morning. It's very conditional, and it could go either way. I mean, we could see storms really start to fire here at any moment. We're already seeing it up there on the north end of that boundary. Or it could be later on this afternoon, that being the best case scenario for East Alabama and West Georgia. But either way, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when and where will that happen. So that's kind of what we're facing this morning. Some of you may not see a drop of rain. Some of you may get some scattered light showers. We all need that. And then some of you may see some pretty significant weather, especially the further east you go throughout the remainder of today. So maybe that makes all of this a little more clear for you. All right, so it's 9:24. We're going to go ahead and step aside, and we are going to be watching this. And again, the moment anything changes, if we start to get some thunderstorm development that I think could potentially go severe or cause any problems across East Alabama and West Georgia, I'll be right back with you. We'll continue our coverage. Don't forget to hit those Facebook stars. You can also go over to drdonwx.com, and there you can download our weather app. You can also donate to us and help support us over there on our website as well. Remain weather aware until we tell you you've got the all clear, and we will as soon as we can tell you that. Remain weather aware. Know where your emergency evacuation place is in the event that severe weather threatens your area. And I'll be right back with you as soon as we have significant weather to talk about across East Alabama and West Georgia. Thank you for joining me from Dr. Don's Weather. We'll see you back in here in just a few minutes on Dr. Don's Weather.